This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
It has been a weekend of professional wrestling. Whether it was this Saturday or tonight, it's been a whirlwind of a weekend and week. And we're here to break it down here on Between the Ropes here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm Crispy Bacon, here with Big B. Big B, how's it going?
Blasters.
You there, Big B?
How's it going, Chris? I don't know. I think I'm glitching out a little bit. So.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I think I'm glitching a little bit here.
Okay.
No, this weekend, if you're in the area of Money in the Bank
LA.
and the Worlds Collide and the UFC fight, and you went to all of them, I think it was a good night for you guys.
Hopefully it was a good night. I know there's some not so fun stuff going on in LA. Going on, if you're watching the news, all of that's happening. So if you're in the area, be careful, be safe. But yeah, it was a fun weekend if you're watching the TKO events with WWE and the UFC. But we're going to talk about the WWE events. They did have Worlds Collide. That kind of set up a match with Money in the Bank. Dominic Mysterio put up his, Intercontinental Championship on the line against Octagon Jr., who was part of that Worlds Collide event. And we just lost Big B. Kristie should be joining us here in just a little bit. But yeah, Worlds Collide was a big turnout for WWE. At least was watched over 1 billion people or 1 million people combined on their YouTube pages for English and Spanish. Looks like we have one of the triple A wrestlers going to NXT. Thomas is saying good evening. Worlds Collide was an amazing show. Yeah, it was a good show to kick off Money in the Bank weekend. So I'm glad it happened. It's going to be interesting to see how it turns out with the partnership with AAA. But Big B should be back here in just a minute. No, that match with Dominic, or the interference with Dominic at the beginning of Worlds Collide, kind of led into Money in the Bank. What's everybody's thoughts on Money in the Bank? Good, bad, indifferent? Big B?
Sorry about that, guys. We love
It's
internet,
okay.
so. All right, Chris.
Yeah, it's all
So
good.
let's kick off with the Money in the Bank on Saturday.
Yeah, Money in the Bank was Saturday. They kind of combined those two events, Worlds Collide, and Money in the Bank. I was just kind of going over that. Dominic kind of had a promo during Worlds Collide, which led into a match kind of thrown together for Money in the Bank between
Yeah,
him and Octagon Jr.
yeah. No, I saw Money in the Bank. I did see Worlds Collide. It's kind of nice. I might go back and see if I can catch that Money Collide to see how it was. It was good that Dominic Mysterio, cut the promo on there, got the match for the Intercontinental title on Money Bank, which we'll go over in a little bit. Um, I kind of like the concept of what they're doing with TKO, with the World Collide, then turn around doing a pay per view and then tying it into the UFC fight that happened later in the night. So we'll see how it goes
Yeah,
down the road.
we shall. I know they're trying to combine all of their major events into one. For the weekend, uh, which is fine. I think it works out.
And just think
And it,
if this is a success, I mean, just think what next year's WrestleMania could be like. I mean, with AAA, with UFC and WWE. I mean, that could be a money maker right there with all of them together.
yeah, we'll get to WrestleMania here
Yeah.
in a little bit because I know a lot of people. I know you're one of them. Probably not going to be happy.
No.
No.
So.
But let's start with Money in the Bank, the ladder matches. Let's start with the women's. Naomi won Money in the Bank. Everybody should proceed with caution with that. Where do we go from there with Naomi?
I'll say right now, I was shocked Naomi won. I was kind of pulling for Raquel. I thought she deserved it. But overall, I think it was a great match. These ladder match, these women are kind of turning into back in the day when it was, the cruiserweights at WCW where they put on a good show, but they really never got the spotlight. Now they're getting the spotlight. They're putting on good matches. I mean, you asked me, 10, 15 years ago if I thought women would be doing these types of matches, I would have said no right off the bat. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, this crop of women, they definitely could put on a show. Naomi, it's going to be interesting to see when she cashes in, how she cashes in, and then if she succeeds on where that will go. I'm thinking it'll go to Jade Cargill or Belair as a match, but good for her. Let's see what'll happen. Thomas is saying she could be the first lady to fail a cash in. Yes, I can see it. But I think if they really want to build Jade Cargill feud with her, she puts the title on and Cargill takes it off of her, I think. So I don't think she's going to fail.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. In the Money in the Bank men's match, a lot of people are not happy, but I kind of can see it with the storyline they're having right now. Seth Rollins is now Mr. Money in the Bank 2025. Wins it for the second time, the briefcase. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm upset with it. Was it one of my top two choices? No. I
Who
mean,
was your
looking
top
at
choice?
it was the obvious choice because of the way
Yeah.
like you said, the rivals are going, the storylines are being built. I was thinking Solo was going to win, and then a slim chance LA Knight was going to win that one. But if I was a betting guy, I would have bet Solo was going to win. We know Rollins probably has the best cash in of all time with the heist at Mania between Lesnar and Roman. So we'll see how they can top that. I don't know if they can top that. But during that match, we saw, again, some great fights. We saw, of course, Breaker and Reed come out to kind of assist. Then we saw Jacob Fatu and Cobb come out. I thought that would be a heck of a tag team, but of course, if you watched it, you saw Fatu turned on Solo, so I don't know where that's going to go. Definitely, we're going to get a match sooner or later between them two. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Props to Seth Rollins. I kind of thought, I think it's going to be a quick cash in. I don't think he's going to last. I don't think they're going to have him hold on to it too long, but it's just when and where they're going to cash in.
When do you think, if he's going to cash in, when do you think he's going to?
Honestly, Chris, and I said it in our chat, and I'll say it again. If I was them, I would have cashed in tonight. I would have cashed in against Jay and Gunther. Kind of make that quick cash in. Strike the fire when it's burning hot. Outside that, man, I don't know. It'll definitely be. Let's see, we're in June. I would say it's probably going to be within the next few months. I say before October he cashes in.
Before October.
Yeah.
So somewhere between now and I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's the end of September.
I'm trying to think of their next.
Yeah. I think he'll cash in, and I'll be surprised if it's even on a big pay-per-view. I could see him doing it on like a Raw or something,
So Thomas is saying on SmackDown, Jacob is the number 3 babyface behind Cody and Randy.
Yeah, Jacob. Yeah. He's got to turn it around. I don't know how much of a babyface he'll be down the road. Because he just doesn't seem to have that mindset to be a babyface. But right now, it's working. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, he's just starting out with that, babyface run, sort of. I know he kind of had glimpses of it, but let's see what happens when he's fully, I guess, immersed in that babyface role.
Yeah. So I see some posts already, and people are talking about War Games already. That it's going to be Roman's crew against Solo's crew, and now you got to replace Jacob. So people are thinking Zilla Fatu's coming in. Jacob's going to go on Roman's side. I mean, I can't see them doing another bloodline War Games.
But you also got to think about it too. If you're looking at the logo for Survivor Series this year, it doesn't necessarily say War Games. Everybody speculate. I mean, they have the cage like a War Games, but it doesn't say War Games.
Okay.
So is it going to be a traditional 5-on-5, or is it going to be a War Games match?
No, I think they can't go away from War Games. I mean, Thomas, you could chime in too with the comments, but I think SummerSlam has now or Survivor Series has now turned into more War Game style. I mean, I do like the 5-on-5. I wish they'd do more of that, but we'll see.
Right. We have a pair of IC titles on the line. First up, we have the Thrown Together match between Dominic Mysterio and Octagon Jr. It was a quick match.
Yeah, it was a quick match. I thought it'd go out a little bit more. You know, I said it in our chat. Thomas, you may roll your eyes. I know Randy Cox will. Right now, I gotta say, guys, Dominic Mysterio is my wrestler of the year right now in 2025. The guy has done it a lot. He's proven himself well in the ring. You know, he's gotten over as one of the best heels of all time. To me, right now, the guy is on cloud nine. He is my wrestler of the year. That match wasn't. It was short, but it was a good match. I would say overall, when Dominic's in the ring, he puts on an average of a 9 out of 10 wrestling match. I think he puts on a good show.
He does. I agree with that. So does Thomas. He says, I agree with Dom as wrestler of the year.
He's got to be the front.
He goes on. He goes on to say Hunter did Octagon wrong. I don't know. I don't watch AAA wrestling. I mean, I've heard of them, but
yeah, I don't watch AAA. Honestly, the logo itself, I thought it was Pentagon. I was like, who the heck is this guy? I didn't think it was Octagon, but
everybody thought that.
Hopefully, we get to see more of AAA wrestling coincide with WWE.
So I think what I've heard, floating around the rumor mill and all that. I think, what is it, Mr. Iguana, who was part of the Worlds Collide. I can pull up a picture here in a minute. He will be sometime, maybe this week, I don't know, but he'll be on NXT.
Okay.
He's very popular with the fans.
Yeah.
Let's see. I will put a picture, but no, I don't watch AAA, so
yeah, I may have to start looking at some of the YouTube, find them on YouTube and stuff, and kind of get to know these guys because they're going to keep doing these. Some of the throughout the year, do some of these double pay-per-views. It's gonna get good to know.
It is. I agree with that. And then you also have the women's IC championship match between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Becky Lynch won that. Becomes the second person or the second woman to get that IC title.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I didn't think Becky was going to win. Not going to lie off the top. I thought for sure she was going to retain. And then Becky, of course, when it did the face, hugged her, and we're all good again. Becky, I think is going to be one of those good heels with the title. I think she makes a good heel. So we'll see if a rematch comes about or if somebody else steps into the number one contender spot. But yeah, we'll see what Becky does. I mean, she went down to NXT, won the title, dropped it right away. But let's see what happens here. So it was a good match. I mean, it definitely was a good match. I thought definitely the ending was good when she raised her hand a couple times and then suplexed her. So
yeah, she brought her over to all four sides of the ring.
Yep.
Wanted to put the belt on her, and then that's when the attack happened. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Back to what we were talking about. This is Mr. Iguana.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people compare him to Dominic, or not Dominic, Goldust, Stardust. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to look him up and see what he does wrestle wise.
They also kind of compare him to what Mick Foley did with Mr. Sacco.
Yeah.
and Santino Morello with the Cobra
Yep.
because he has that pet iguana there. So he'll be on NXT soon. So look out for him.
Oh yeah.
Becky Lynch. I'm not sure what's going to happen. There's a couple options with her now having the title. You have Night of Champions coming up in 2 weeks, and then I think 2 weeks after that, it's going to be Evolution.
Yeah.
So
That
you
could be a
could,
spot too. I forgot about the Evolution. Go back to the women's Money in the Bank. That could be a spot where Naomi tries to cash in.
yeah, that would be a first. Yeah, we'll talk about Raw in a little bit, but tonight we have two women going after Becky.
Yeah, well, we'll talk Raw in a little bit here. WWE is drooling
Yeah.
over the thought.
Is rolling over the thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That is true. There's big fans of him. And then you have the main event of Money in the Bank. I know it's weird that the men's Money in the Bank was not the main event, but the main event of Money in the Bank was the tag team match between Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes going up against John Cena and Logan Paul. Surprisingly, I don't know if it's really a surprise, but Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena. A future match, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it was a good match. It was a good tag match. Each time, and Thomas, you can agree or disagree. Every time Logan Paul steps in the ring, he impresses me. I mean, he does stuff. WWE definitely caught fire with him. I know a lot of people are not happy that he's part of wrestling, but if the guy's doing the training outside the ring and improving himself, great. He's following his passion. Yeah, he probably got into it because of his fame, but WWE, I think did the right move in signing him, bringing him in, bringing his brand in. During the match, I thought there was going to be a heel or a face turn because him and Cena were getting bickering back and forth. I thought for sure Logan Paul was going to turn on him. I was kind of shocked on the return of R-Truth. I heard he changed his name. He's going by his real name on this run. So I don't know if the release was actually legit or if
it's
WWE pulled
legit.
one over
It
on
was
us.
legit. It
And
was
then
legit.
everybody chanted they wanted Truth back, so they brought him back.
Yeah.
I think it was a good move. I think R-Truth deserves it. I don't think they brought him back for a title run. I think they just brought him back to please the fans and let him finish out his career as a WWE guy. But overall, the main event was a good main event. I wasn't upset with anything that was just like, oh, they could have done better. Kind of surprised at the outcome. I mean, I thought maybe Seth and Logan would have won. Logan pins, Jey Uso for a title shot, but I think Cody and Jey winning is good for right now.
It's definitely good for right now. You mentioned about R-Truth. His son came out on social media and said it is definitely not a work. And even R-Truth said it too.
Yeah,
He was fired. It took Nick Khan to bring him back.
yeah.
And I guess
Okay.
during those set of negotiations, he was saying, I don't mind coming back under one condition. I use my real name.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean,
he's
money talks, as we all say.
right. Uh, and you had even ESPN, and I think a bunch of other news outlets,
Yeah.
with wrestling outlets putting it out there. So, and even
Yeah.
said I got released. So
Yeah. I mean, again, we're not in the boardroom. We don't know the talk. I mean, yeah, Truth came out said he was a legit released. I mean, is this something he has to say? Who knows? I mean, we take his word for it. You know, got released, got brought back, so it is what it is.
right. Thomas is saying Logan Paul once again proves he's good. Uh, how good he is with so little experience. But I think I feel like the boxing helped a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Different
His training
sport,
in
but I think it
boxing,
helped.
his training in boxing would really help him. I mean, helped him. I mean, that's why I'm kind of surprised that his brother hasn't kind of come in and kind of done his wrestling too, and kind of give up the boxing a little bit. But maybe his brother's not fit for it. Maybe his brother doesn't want to. Maybe his brother wants to stay fighting. Guys like Mike Tyson, all those guys that he knows he can beat. So,
Yeah.
so
I think his brother just wanted out of boxing. He got hit
yeah, yeah.
maybe too
Who
many times.
knows?
That's kind of good. Well, what's your rating on Money in the Bank? 1 to 10 overall.
Overall, I'd say I'd say a B plus, a solid B plus. I mean, it's one of those that I mean, like I said, Seth was kind of predictable that he was going to win. The main event was good. I mean, Becky, did she really need the IC title to prove herself? No. Naomi, yeah, she won. That's good for her. So yeah, I give it a solid B. It was action packed. I mean, nothing, discounts the action. Main event was definitely. I think I could be wrong. I mean, the men's Money in the Bank was good, but I think I would say the men's Money in the Bank probably took the show. Main event was right next to it, so
What would you say the match of the night was? Because I know we all have one.
match of the night. Oh god, that's tough because I think the Dom and Octagon match could have been better if it was a little bit longer. I'd like to see that one get some more time. Overall, I think how the whole Money in the Bank men's match lasted and went. I think that was the match of the night.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if there's really a match of the night. I thought they were all good though.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're all good. I mean,
that
it
Dominic
was a good pay per view. Like I said, B B plus.
that Dominic Mysterio, Octagon match should have been a little longer, but uh, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it should have been longer too.
It
And
definitely
that's the
should have
one thing
been
with Money
longer.
in the Bank and the Royal Rumble is they're only going to put in a few matches because the two big matches already have plenty of people in there. So
Well, originally it was going to be 4 matches.
yeah,
The 2 IC matches and the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. That was the original game plan.
yep,
Thomas is saying match of the night was the main event tag match. Probably because of R-Truth, which I do like R-Truth. And we'll get to him, what he did tonight on Raw.
yeah, no,
Because he was on there.
yeah, R-Truth coming back. It'll be interesting to see how they play it out, though. I mean, they brought him back. They got to do something special with them. I do not see him.
I think they will.
I don't see him dethroning Cena. I don't.
I don't either, but I could see him. No pun intended. Getting close. Like getting a run for his money, kind of close.
Yeah.
Maybe not getting the title, but I think truly being the one to retire him.
Yeah.
Retire Cena.
And if he does defeat Cena and get the title, it's not going to be that long of a run. It might be one of those where he's in a main event with Cena, and maybe that's where Seth cashes in, where R-Truth wins it for a second, and then Seth Rollins and his boys come out and takes care of it, and R-Truth or Rollins cashes in. So who knows?
I think, yeah, who knows? Now let's move on to Raw, and I don't know where you want to start, Big B.
You start from match one. Saw the open. Cena came out. Talked his crap.
Punk came out.
Punk came out. Rollins came out. Kind of figured that was going to happen. So it'll be interesting. Watching the promo with that, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out, because I mean, I really legitimately think that there's personal beef between Rollins and Punk. Like, I don't think Punk can get over the fact that CM Punk left for 8 years and then came back. I think that's I truly think that's rubbing Seth Rollins the wrong way. So, and then of course Cena on his last season or last year. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But
yeah, CM Punk pretty much challenged tonight for the title.
Yeah.
And Cena's like, okay, you versus me for this title, but not tonight. We're gonna do this in Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions.
Yeah, I can see that.
That match is gonna be 2 weeks. Which, if you remember with Saudi Arabia shows, that's usually like a 12 Central Time, 12 p.m. Central Time start.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an early, I'm not going to say early, but it's going to be an afternoon show. We also had the King and Queen of the Ring matches. There are going to be a set of fatal 4-way matches.
Okay.
That will branch off into non-brand matches, so you could have two from Raw, two from SmackDown. After these first round matches, it doesn't really matter who, brand versus brand. They're all going to be mixed. And then the winner of the tournament or the two finalists will move on to the Night of Champions to be crowned the King of Queen of the Ring. And like last year, we'll have a title shot at SummerSlam.
Okay. So they're doing that.
So
it's kind of like a second Money in the Bank type thing.
Yeah.
Where, they got that contract.
I would. Mm-hmm. So on the men's side for Raw, you have Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Sami Zayn. You also have Rusev, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, and a wild card participant uh, for that match. They already had one matchup, and Sami Zayn won that match.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Sammy winning. I'm kind of torn on what they're doing with Sammy too. I'm not sure. I don't even know if they're sure which way they want to go with Sammy. So I guess we'll see how far he advances in the King of the Ring. To put him over in this match was kind of shocking. I mean, there was definitely a good mix of guys. Oh, sorry, guys. In that match, I mean, Breaker being a new guy, Dom definitely did not need. I don't think. I mean, I guess yeah, you could have had Dom win it, to keep his mojo going. I would have taken Breaker out of this group if I was a betting guy. Penta would have been my number 2. Dom would have been number 3, and Sammy would have been number 4. But Sammy won, so we'll see how far he goes.
Thomas is saying he doesn't think that Sammy did win. I'm looking back on WWE's.
No, he said he can't believe that Sammy won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't either.
I mean, Penta came over from AEW. I can't believe they're not pushing him a little bit more. Braun Breaker, is another guy in my eyes that's in the running for males wrestler of the year, and he hasn't done much except join himself with Seth Rollins after losing the IC title. So,
yeah,
I thought for sure they might have gave him a little run. So, and who knows about before you get on. I mean, there's that wild card too that who knows what they're going to do? Who knows what they're going to bring in? They might let all the losers battle it out. Winner gets it. So, but we'll see.
I could see 2 names floating out there.
Okay.
One, because this kind of ties into the main event of tonight, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. One is Ilya. I'm seeing that floating around. Ilya Dragunov.
Okay.
He's been out with an injury for I don't know, a year or so. And then Goldberg.
Who? I'm sorry, guys. Chris had a little difficulties. I think his internet just kicked out when he said Goldberg, I think. So, but yeah, we'll get out there. Chris, did you say Goldberg? Yeah. Did you really say Goldberg coming back?
Yeah, because there's a rumor of him doing the Saturday night's main event in July, and it's supposed to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, he'll come. He's already. I mean, if you guys remember the last pay-per-view, I think Goldberg was at. It was one of the last ones. It might not even been a pay-per-view, but Gunther was a heavyweight champ, and he kind of called Goldberg out. Goldberg jumped the rails, so that match will be set up overseas. That will be a King of the Ring. It will be Goldberg versus Gunther.
No, the King and Queen of the Ring, their own. Yeah, but it's its own little match. It's not a pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. So they're not having it. The
winners will be at Night of Champions.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Goldberg versus Gunther will be. He won't be in the King of the Ring.
Unless
they'll have their own match.
Unless Gunther gets dethroned.
Nah, they
Then it could be Saturday night's main event.
Against Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
you don't necessarily need the title.
No, they don't, but I mean, again, I think the only reason why you put the title on him is to get this face off with Goldberg to kind of hype it up a little bit. So,
Let's see. Imagine if Cross, that's the wild card.
and that's another guy that I think has done wrong. They put him with
And his
a
contract's
decent
almost
group.
up.
What's that?
His contract's almost up.
Yeah, but again, that's another guy that you put him with Paul Lellery, you put him with APA or AOP. I just can't believe that they're not pushing. They brought it. This is what now the third time they brought him back after a release or something.
Yes.
Sooner or later they got to do something. Cross. I mean, yeah. I just don't get it. I just don't know why they don't do something with him. I mean, they got to push him somehow. Chris is honestly right. I mean, he gets released again. I'm AEW. I'm calling their agent and bringing them in.
Yeah, because she's saying WWE
Scarlett,
is
they haven't
wasting
wasted. I
Cross.
don't think she's a wrestling type. I think she is just a valet / manager. I don't think she's a true wrestler where Cross is.
I think she can, maybe not full time, but I think she can probably.
I mean, yeah, she could do a match here or there, but I think she's more of a manager type. So,
let's see. Thomas is thinking Goldberg too.
Yeah, because cut out when you said Goldberg, and I was kind of thrown off by that. So she can go in the ring. Okay, well, yeah, I guess I have to watch some of her matches. I know she's wrestled. I know she's done a lot of indie when they were released indie stuff. So I'll have to go back and watch her stuff. I haven't seen her wrestle that much. So
let's move on to the Raw side of the bracket for the women. And especially for this first match, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez. They had their match today, and I believe Roxanne had the victory. But before that, her and Liv.
Yes, Roxanne, she got Cleveland snuck in on the pinning attempt by Io Sky on Liv Morgan, I think it was.
Kairi. Io wasn't in the match.
Yeah, Kairi. You're right, Kairi. Perez, that's good for her. I think they definitely need to push Perez. I thought she was going to win Money in the Bank. I guess this is second best. Hopefully she wins it. I don't know. I can't recall who's the next Fatal 4-Way match. Coming up
on the women's side for Raw, and I think they spoiled one of the names.
Okay.
Stephanie Vakir.
Okay.
Rodriguez.
Okay.
Ivy Nile.
Okay.
And Asuka.
And Asuka?
Yeah.
Asuka, she's been out for a while, so it'd be good to see her back in the ring, doing her thing. But I kind of hope that Perez, I hope they push Perez and let her get that crown.
Yeah. And what was interesting, no matter if it was on the men's side or the women's side, all of these matches, or both matches, had was going on for a long time. It wasn't rushed.
Yeah, they did. They did good.
Probably
So yeah, definitely the women's match was an exciting match.
Yeah. I'm not sure on the SmackDown side though. For either one will take place first, but for the men on SmackDown, you have Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes,
Okay.
LA Knight, and Orton.
And who was
I don't
the
see
fourth one?
Randy Orton.
Orton. Yeah, Orton. God. See, they got all these guys that don't need that recognition, need that push. So I don't. I know Dragon Viper is going to jump through the screen here if he was on here. I don't think Orton needs to be in this.
I can see LA Knight. I can see LA Knight.
Yeah, I can see LA Knight kind of pulling it off. I could see again, Carmelo Hayes, they called him up and he hasn't really done nothing. So I see one of them to do it. If it was me, I think I'd go with Carmelo Hayes like they did with Perez, kind of let her win that first round match.
Yeah, but he did win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah, he did, but that doesn't mean nothing. I mean, that's just
so did Jey
accolade.
Uso, but it took a while.
Yeah. I think if I pick it up, I take Carmelo in that first one.
And according to Triple H, things go to those who wait.
Yeah.
Hey, Kristie.
Hey, that's Kristie.
Hi.
What's up?
Hey.
Not much.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I know you guys are talking King and Queen of the Ring. I think I already said in the chat who my pick for winning Queen of the Ring is.
Stephanie?
Yeah,
Stephanie
you got Stephanie. Yeah.
I got Stephanie. To me, she just has all the intangibles. She's ready. She's super over. And I just feel personally that, I mean, she almost won Money in the Bank on Saturday. So I feel like she's definitely, I think personally, the best pick, but I know everyone's going to pick other people.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting she came close, especially being called up quickly. And having 2-3 matches in the span of 48 hours, and we lost her. She had like 2 or 3 matches.
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
In that weekend. No, you're good.
Okay.
Did she have like 2 or 3 matches in like 24, 48 hours?
3 matches. She has 6-woman tag match on SmackDown on Friday night. Then she did Worlds Collide, a tag team match with NXT's Lola Vice against 2 AAA ladies whose names completely escape me right now, and then Money in the Bank. I mean, talk about badass workhorse. I mean, I think she earned a lot of people's respect when she did that. Like, it's like going from one match to another in a span of 24 hours. I mean, holy crap. That's pretty amazing in my opinion.
I mean,
I've never heard of anybody. I've never really heard of anybody doing that, really.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And then on the SmackDown, continuing with the SmackDown side of the bracket, you have Andrade, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh boy.
Thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, see,
for SmackDown.
not putting Cody Rhodes in there doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't, because I mean, I think he's gonna get the title back at SummerSlam. I just don't think he needs to be in the King of the Ring tournament to do it. I mean, I think it's great that he's in it, and I don't think he's honestly ever done this before.
No,
I think.
But again, it doesn't make sense for him
to.
It doesn't make sense for him to move on. It doesn't make sense for him. Like Kristie said, he's going to get his title shot back or title shot match.
He's going to get his title back.
He may win it back, but in that bracket there, I got Andrade. I think they need to start pushing Andrade more.
Yeah. I mean, he got close. He was pretty close to winning Money in the Bank too.
Yeah. So Solo.
So is Solo until Jacob Fatu said he hated him,
Yeah.
pulled him off the ladder, and started beating the crap out of him.
I hate you, Solo.
I hate you,
Uh,
Solo. It's like, geez,
And
Solo.
then on SmackDown,
Jeez, Jacob Fatu, tell us how you really feel.
and then on SmackDown, your women participants are Jade Cargill,
Mm-hmm.
Michin,
Mia Yim, yeah.
Piper Niven,
Oh boy.
and Nia Jax.
Oh god.
Nia Jax doesn't need it because she had
She's
won
done
last
it.
time.
Yep. I'd say I'm gonna go Jade Cargill.
Just
Moving
based
forward
on what
on the
happened
SmackDown.
the other day.
Right. I
Just
mean,
based on what happened.
Jade Cargill winning it would be kind of interesting.
would be.
Just 'cause now Naomi won the women's Money in the Bank, so could they buy in and try to cash in somehow together and make it a triple threat? I don't know.
It's possible.
But
But there
again,
is a
you got
high
Niles in there.
I have heard there is a high possibility.
Either.
Oh,
So I kind of like to see Niles win it.
Yeah. Now the final four women, I think we all know who's going to win this matchup.
okay.
You have Alexa Bliss,
Yep.
Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair,
Ooh.
and Candice LeRae.
It's not Candice LeRae. I don't honestly think she's that good, and the only reason she's in WWE is because of who her husband is, not because of any accomplishments she has.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae.
Yeah. Not a fan of hers, and I hate her hair, so. She makes purple look real bad.
What
Alexa.
It's a toss up between Alexa and Charlotte on that side of the bracket.
It is, and I hate to say it, but I can see WWE capitalizing on Flair winning the whole thing.
Right.
Just to put a crown on her and call her Queen of the Ring.
Right. And the thing is, yeah, I mean, her nickname is the Queen.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is,
they don't, but
yeah, I hope they don't. She doesn't need it. That's the main thing. She doesn't.
And then quote unquote, going to the Queen City.
Charlotte, North
We
Carolina.
all know it's in New Jersey.
Bow down to the Queen. And then she comes out in the crown with a cape and a gown. I'm like, and I will be like, oh no, really?
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Thomas chimed in and said Ivy Niles not winning it.
Mm-mm.
They haven't done nothing with her.
No, they've done nothing with her. She did a nice job in a Money in the Bank qualifying match, but she ate the pin.
Yeah,
Stephanie Verker, but and Ivy Nile is tough, but I think her being an American Made is holding her back.
A little bit. I think you don't really need her in American Made. I don't think you really need her in a tag team or a faction.
Nope. Let her loose. Let her run wild and let her show what she can really do.
Yeah.
I think that would be because she's good and she's tough. I mean, that woman is one of the few on the WWE actually legitimately scares the crap out of me pretty much. To look at her like, don't hurt me.
Tim Hendricks is saying he's American Made.
Oh my god.
Oh, Timmy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Thomas is saying, I'm thinking of the men's side that they could run Randy versus Gunther back for SummerSlam.
Maybe. I mean, that is a possibility.
But
or if you run it this way, if you do the King of the Ring tour, you could have Orton versus Cody in the finals at Night of Champions. That's one thing, but I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, one, this is for a title shot.
Yes.
So if Randy's going to win, say he wins Money in the Bank, He's
Or
going after,
Cena.
I guess, Cena.
He could go after Cena. Depends on how the
It's gonna
match
be
between Cena and Punk
that,
goes.
right? But
Uh-huh.
that's gonna be the brand's title for SummerSlam.
Right. Yes.
And you already have that
Mm-hmm.
confirmed for SummerSlam, or no, Night of Champions. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jim is saying, I don't think Dragon Viper could beat Gunther, though.
Of course not. Gunther could chop Dragon Viper one time and he falls down on his butt.
I think I paid good money for that match. Gunther versus Randy.
In this corner, Dragon Viper. In this corner, the Ring General Gunther. Chop Dragon Viper's down for the count.
It's okay, Thomas. We all make mistakes.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Randy's got
I would
his
like that
last
matchup
one too. I mean, with his injuries and stuff too. So I can't see them putting him in too many big matches coming up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I for sure think they want to run the Orton Owens match before everything's said and done. So we gotta wait for Owens if he comes back.
Right. He's been saying he hasn't undergone the neck surgery yet, but he's going to at some point. He's not saying when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen eventually.
I know Kevin Owens did that.
Yeah.
And I think his future's in limbo, but
it is.
We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Orton versus Owens might not ever happen.
You're right, Thomas. That could be a thing. I mean, it's all. I think it's all in Owens' health now. I think.
Yeah.
It
depends if he
as healthy as he's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sucks. We might not get that match.
Right. We might not get it. Because KO has to undergo the neck surgery, and if the surgery is successful and his rehab successful, then maybe. But what if he comes back and Orton's already decided to retire? Then then it's really never going to happen.
True.
It's a big one.
One thing might happen though is Becky Lynch had her promo and somebody came back.
Hey, Bailey.
Bailey came back, purple hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be
which could be
a three-way match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see a triple threat match for
me too.
For that IC title, either at Night of Champions or Evolution.
I'm thinking more Evolution myself.
Yeah.
Because I would think so too, to build it up.
Yeah. Because I think Evolution is July 13th. Today's June 9th. So you got to give it. So that's about a little over a month away. So you really got to give it time to build it up and get people excited for it.
Well, not only that, but after Night of Champions, it's basically 2 weeks apart.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I think Evolution makes the most sense to have Lyra versus Becky versus Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had R-Truth come back, or should we just call him
Ron Killings?
As he said.
I'll just call him Ron Killings. That's it. That works for me.
Yeah.
And he cut his hair on live TV.
Yeah, he had the pair of scissors. Everyone's
yes,
Mike, did you see the looks on both Michael Cole and Wade Barrett's faces when Truth had? I'll call him Truth. He had the scissors out, and they're like, "What the hell's going on here?" They both backed up, and they looked like, "What the hell's going on here?" And then they.
What do you think those dreads are going to go for anyway?
A lot. Would you like R-Truth dreads?
Yeah.
You can find them on eBay.
Yeah. But I think we're seeing a darker side of R-Truth.
Or more that's just fed up with people thinking he's nothing more than a comedy act when, he's done a lot in his career, even in TNA.
His TNA run was pretty good, and that was when it started.
Mm-hmm. His name was K-Quick, I think, back then.
K-Quick
was.
and TNA. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how well this series
I
character is
would.
going to work.
I
I think we should just let
would.
it happen. You know, we might be surprised. He might pull it off really well.
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to be surprised because he's always been that quirky little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Little Jimmy, and
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see how this character plays out.
definitely.
I can see him saying, "Little Jimmy's dead,"
Yeah, little Jimmy's
something
dead.
like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, am I just a gimmick to you? Guess what? No, I'm not.
I think everybody would just have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 2011
Yeah.
WWE when the last time he turned heel.
Or became a serious character.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, you have to go back 14 years for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all because
Oh my God.
fans, wrestlers in the locker room were all complaining. They were saying, "Look, you shouldn't have let him go."
Yeah, I mean, me and Chris
Yeah.
kind of talked about that backstage a little bit.
Yeah.
We're never going to know what happens behind closed doors. I mean,
Right.
do the wrestlers step up and say something? I mean, of course, the fans definitely said it.
Oh yeah.
Was it a work? Was it real release? I mean, we just got to take everybody's word for it that it was a real release, and they signed them back, and maybe it's true, but
Yeah, I heard a report. It was actually Nick Khan who decided to tell Triple H, "No, what we're bringing him back. We shouldn't have done this." So
And I heard
Nick
Paul
Khan's
being
higher up than
upset
Triple
about
H,
that.
so he was the one who said, "You know what, we're bringing him back."
yeah,
Smart
I
move.
mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We had Nikki Bella back,
Bleh.
just promoting, the Evolution PLE,
Yeah.
and Liv Morgan did not really like that too much,
Nope.
and kind of attacked her.
Yeah, it was after Nikki Bella said, "Who does your man really want to be with, you or Roxanne Perez?" And Liv got pissed about it.
And basically
Look on
saying,
Liv's face, I'm like,
you don't have a guy.
Yeah. Well, okay, we get it. Nikki is recently divorced. Okay, we get that. But
Oh, are they divorced? I didn't know that.
yeah, Nikki and her husband are divorced. Yes.
Okay.
Not Daniel Bryan, right?
No, it's not. No,
We're
no,
kinda
no.
getting that.
Brian
Okay.
Danielson is married to Nikki's sister Brie.
Okay.
All right. Nikki was married to her former dance partner from Dancing with the Stars.
That's right. They did get married. Yeah.
Yes, they're now divorced.
She just couldn't stand seeing them all every day.
I don't know.
Look at this being TMZ here.
Yeah, but no, Nikki Bella, bleh, don't care.
Maybe we'll see her in Evolution.
Maybe her and Brie,
match
because
against Liv.
Nah, Brie. You know what?
I'm thinking Nikki and Brie. They've expressed interest in those women's tag team titles before, and they've talked about it before. So that's what I've heard for Evolution. A possible matchup: the Bellas versus Liv and Raquel. We'll see.
I can see just Liv and Nikki matching up.
Yeah, that's what Thomas says.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, a singles match.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the shock of the night.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a cash-in, but there is a new champion, and that champion was Gunther, dethroning Jey Uso, who I think had it for.
Why? No.
It would have been better if it was a cash-in, but if you're gonna do that,
I mean, heck, I could see Seth Rollins cashing in and then stomping Gunther's head into the mat like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
No.
I know.
I'm so upset.
I don't know why. This is the one of the matches. The results where it's like
Mhm.
I want to be in the meeting room when they decide this, title change.
Yeah, I just
And hear the
We
reasons
will.
why, because I just don't see it. James is so over right now.
he is, and
Again, go ahead, Chrissy.
I was gonna say there are people out there saying, thank God, they're saying right decision to put the belt back on Gunther. Never should have lost it in the first place. I'm like, you don't realize how insanely over Jay is. Even going into WrestleMania, he was over,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, you're way over.
he was way over. And it gave him that WrestleMania
But
moment. Yeah, this reign lasted longer than his IC title reign, but it still felt
Yeah,
like it just wasn't long enough. You really didn't give him a chance to
yeah.
really
I
build
mean,
himself up to be a credible champion. And ugh. I mean, I thought Jay was gonna last until at least maybe what's the best thing? SummerSlam, probably.
yeah. I could, at Mania. I don't know if I said on our live feed, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think Jay was going to last the rest of the year, but I didn't think it was going to be that quick of a turnaround.
No, I didn't either.
Losing the title, especially out of Raw. I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of
the Raw for
without the
Money in the Bank.
cash-in, I would have,
Uh-huh.
I would not have believed if we would have came out today and said, "Oh, Gunther's the new champion from Raw." I was like, "What?" So,
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Like I said, it's one of those
unfortunately.
moments which we're in the locker room or in the
Mm-hmm.
wherever office and just kind of see what their thought plan was for that match and
Right.
why they thought they had to take the title off of Jay and put on Gunther.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. I mean, you gave him this beautiful WrestleMania moment where he wins the title, and he and his brother celebrating in the ring together. Only for a month and a half
right.
later, you take it off of him.
Yeah. Yep.
And when Gunther had the belt on, like, all right, Seth Rollins, where the hell are you? Bring that briefcase out, cash in, and stomp this dude's head into the mat 8 billion times. I don't care.
It's
But
got to.
if you're saying that,
they have to have done it for a reason, and
They had to.
most likely it's for their Goldberg Gunther match.
Yeah. But I think if it's Gunther versus Goldberg, it should not be for the belt. It should just be for bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep the title out of it.
Well, we know it's going to be for the title if that match
Yeah.
happens. And our friend Adam Barber, he'll be happy.
yeah, because isn't that his favorite?
Oh,
my.
that's his riddle
Right.
to Randy or that's his
Uh-huh.
riddle to Randy. So.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he would be in attendance tonight, but
Would have thought so. But he wasn't
Who
there.
was going to be in attendance?
Goldberg.
Uh,
I highly doubt it. I think he's like more
the only
focused
time you go see Goldberg is if it's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
well,
I
then
mean,
that's Saturday night's main event.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Ironically, counter programming with AEW's All In pay-per-view event is going to be in Arlington, Texas, July 12th. Same day.
Sammy versus Gunther.
Sammy versus. Oh God.
I don't know if I want to see that match again.
No, I don't know either. I'm like, what? Huh?
Because one, you can't have Sammy take the belt off of him twice.
No. He did it with the IC
So
title.
that almost guarantees that Sammy's going to lose or win by DQ or something.
Or something, yeah.
Maybe we get Sammy Gun. Yeah, I don't see that.
SummerSlam. I mean, possibility,
Maybe,
but that depends.
Maybe in a match.
Maybe.
Like just a straight up match at some point.
No title on
but
the
not
line.
for a
maybe?
title.
Right.
For you, Kristie, I want to circle back to Money in the Bank. What's your thoughts on it?
It was reasonably decent. I mean, Naomi winning the briefcase, to me, I know people predicted it. She wasn't who I picked. I had picked Stephanie Becker to win the women's Money in the Bank because, like I said, so over. Everybody seems to love her and all that. But and Rollins winning the briefcase, to me, I don't really think he needed it because he's won it before. But they've kind of figured put his name next to CM Punk as those who've won the briefcase in the ladder match, not when it used to be part of WrestleMania.
Do you think it should go back to that? Being part of Mania?
I like Money in the Bank as its own separate pay-per-view.
I like it as their own separate pay-per-view. It's kind of, I don't want to say run its course because it has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I really think they need to incorporate at least the men's tag team titles into it somehow.
Yeah, I mean that would be something. It doesn't. You don't have to cash the briefcase in on a singles champion like the world title.
Well, even have a tag team Money in the Bank. You know,
I mean that'd be cool. You have a tag team have their own briefcase.
And honestly, you don't even have to have it like 6 teams. You can, break it down to 4 teams.
4 teams. Yeah, I was thinking 4 sounds better than 6.
Yeah.
Well, back then in 2020 when Otis won it.
Oh yeah.
That was his plan.
Yeah, he was part of the tag team Heavy Machinery, and he and his tag team partner were gonna go and cash in on a tag team, but something happened and it just didn't work.
What could have been?
Yeah, what could have been? What's possible? Yeah,
because they said any title.
I mean, R-Truth coming in and saving that tag team match, Cena, Logan versus Cody and Jay. I mean, Truth saved that, and because it was just getting, to me, it was just getting a little ridiculous. I'm like, here comes the cheap shots, here comes the antics, here comes the shenanigans. There's Logan Paul with the drone cam and all that, and we're getting the bird's eye view. That's a blah 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 blah. I mean, Logan Paul has the darn thing in his hand, and he gets hit, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely a camera angle you're never gonna see again.
Oh, when Cody suplexed, that was honestly the
was insane.
we do our yearly rewards. I gotta remember that because that was like the spot of the year.
Spot of the year, definitely. All because Logan Paul's like, look at this little drone camera here. Look at what I got in my hand.
Yep. And then they had Jey Uso come off the top with his splash and crush the camera.
Right.
That would have been better.
That's coming out of your paycheck, buddy.
That would have been better if the camera was angled right to where you got to see the landing of Jey Uso.
Right. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But that's why I said, again, Dragon Viper's going to be rolling his head, but I think bringing Logan Paul in with his entertainment and his YouTube and Twitter followers and all that, I think it's good for business.
Well, I mean, he's definitely learned a lot from the best in WWE, and they haven't had anything bad to say about him, saying he's really eager to learn, and he's like a sponge. He just absorbs everything.
Yeah.
And he gets the concept of heel and face so easily, and he knows he's a heel. So, and he knows people like him don't like him, so he plays into it.
Was he on? I don't know if you guys ever watched it, the series with Stephanie's house or whatever.
No, I haven't watched it.
Stephanie's Places.
That'd be a good one to watch.
I don't think he was on it. I know Pat was.
Yeah, Pat was on there.
It
would be good to see. Logan Paul on there, and and I know Thomas typed it in earlier. I mean, he's done a lot in the short amount of time and the amount of matches that he's had. He's really.
But I think.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say too, like you said a minute ago, he's a sponge. He soaks up information.
Yeah.
He was
learns
everything.
Take a look at who he's learned from. He's learned stuff from like AJ Styles. He's learned from a lot. I mean, I think he worked with other people besides AJ.
Right.
Oh, Miz.
Miz, exactly. Worked with the Miz.
Yeah.
Wait, shout out
But you
Miz.
also
Hope you're
got to
doing well with American Gladiators on Prime Video. You just started
that's gonna be
filming it.
fun.
That's gonna be great.
But you got to think too. Logan Paul was a fan first,
And a
so
lot
he's
of I
probably
think it's a lot
watched
of these
a lot
wrestlers.
of Raws, a
Yeah,
lot of SmackDowns, and
I mean, a lot of
NXT.
these wrestlers started out as fans of shows like
Yep.
Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views like WrestleMania, and that inspired them to want to see if they could take a shot in the ring themselves. And a lot of them have gone on to succeed and do really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you catch Worlds Collide, Kristie?
A little bit. It was the tag team match with Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice winning over the two AAA ladies, like I said, whose names I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Usually when Vaquer and Vice did
Luckily,
the Devil's Kiss in sync, I'm like, oh god, where's Booker T when you need him?
the fans helped. The fans
Yeah, the
helped.
fans did help. I think Conan, who was on commentary, was saying, "Oh, I like this," and then he goes, "Why did they stop?" I don't know.
Luckily, it's on YouTube.
It's on. Yeah, you can check it out on YouTube.
For free.
You get a laugh out of it. And I do know on social media people were going crazy for Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, we
like,
talked
what
about
are you
that. He
talking
could be
about?
on
Who's
NXT
Mr.
this
Iguana?
week.
I saw him and I'm like, oh, that's who you are. Okay.
He'll be on NXT this week, I think.
Yeah. I think
Or sometime
Vikingo
soon.
defended his title against Gable. Vikingo, I remember watching him and watching some of his AEW matches. He's crazy. A lot of his moves are just mind-blowingly good. Just watching him, I'm like, are you for real? You
Right.
cannot. Is it possible for someone like you to even exist? But he does.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's all we
Yeah.
we have for the last couple of days. So
Yeah.
any final thoughts, Kristie?
Just continue to be an interesting week of wrestling because you got NXT tomorrow, you got AEW Dynamite with their spring breaker. They're doing another 4-hour block on Wednesday with some really good matches on there, and of course we'll keep going with King and Queen of the Ring with whatever SmackDown matches are going to be on SmackDown on Friday.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Should be interesting. Big B.
No, I mean, yeah, this week was definitely, if you're a wrestling fan, was probably a good week to watch. Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank, UFC. Sounds like they definitely brought in the ratings. Tonight, Raw, like Chrissy said, you got NXT tomorrow, you got AEW, and then, of course, if you can watch TNA's on. For me, my next local wrestling show I'll be going to is June 21st. They got a good card shaping up. They got some great meet and greets. It definitely would be nice to see Demolition, X-Pac, JBL. So I can't wait for that. A few weeks ago, I can't remember if I've been on, but got to meet Lex Luger.
Nice.
No, and I got to say it, I was really impressed with the Luger signature that he did. I mean, he, due to his health issues, he has to use both hands. And he signed it really slick. Next time my camera's working, I'll have to show you or I'll post it on my Facebook page. But
there you go.
but with that being said, you can catch me and Tim Wednesday with Rankum.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe I got to touch base with Coach Cody. I think we're going to have a Bears huddle this week, maybe a special guest. Like I said, I got to touch base with Cody. They were supposed to have a pay-per-view. They were supposed to have a preseason game this past weekend, or the 24th. It got canceled due to some conflicts out of their control. So they're getting ramped up, ready for their season. But we're seeing some of their clips of practices. The guys are hungry, so that's a fun team to watch for arena football.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Should be fun. We'll be back next week for another Between the Ropes. Thank you, Tim and Thomas for commenting. Kristie, you commented as well.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back next week for another Between the Ropes. So with that, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy all the sports.
Oh yeah.
And we'll be back next week.
Good night.
Where's the